Hello gents, my name is Bushnell. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I hope you stay long enough to subscribe, and if you're already part of the tribe, welcome back. Ladies, we are discussing about Rahab from Joshua chapter 2. And what we're getting from her is how to reinvent yourself. So, reinventing yourself 101. So grab something to drink, get something to write with, get comfortable, and let's talk about this. So the first thing we're getting from this is you get to choose what defines you. Rahab was a prostitute. But do you know that she is part of Jesus' lineage? In the New Testament, we get to see this where it's written that Jesus is from the lineage where Rahab is in it, yo. And so Rahab was a prostitute, and this is not a job that is it's welcomed by the society. But she did not let the fact that she was a prostitute hold her back from being used by God, because God used Rahab to help the spies of Israel, because those spies of Israel needed to report back to Joshua so that Joshua can plan what's next, so that he can defeat and conquer Jericho, so that they can get to the promised land. So God can use you regardless of your circumstances, of what you've done, or what you're doing currently. And also, ladies, just a bonus on this is what makes men so audacious, that you'll see a man who is way below your league trying to shoot a shot at you, and this is what most men do. And they understand that the circumstances don't define them. They don't let it define them. They will shoot their shot, and you will find a man who is way below your standards coming at you, and you're like, the audacity. This is what it is. This is just audacity, and I'm giving it to you straight. You also get a chance to recreate your story in front of new people. If you've been trying to reinvent yourself, you're going to find it difficult reinventing yourself if you're hanging around the same people that knew you with your past self. So with these two gentlemen, these two spies from Israel, she got to reinvent herself as a woman who is knowledgeable, as a woman who is helpful in front of these two men. So if you want to reinvent yourself, then you should definitely be around new people who have no idea about you, and you can mold yourself and become something different. But of course, if you're in an environment where you definitely cannot change the people around you, then you should definitely always just practice and show up as the woman you want to become. Point number 2 is from the Scarlet card. Now, what I'm getting from this Scarlet card is something that I'd love you to think about over the next few days or weeks. Next time you are journaling, ask yourself what separates you from the rest. What makes you different from the other people in your career, in your business, in your family, in your friend group? What makes you different? What makes you unique? Because that Scarlet card is what made her different from all other people from Jericho, and the Israelites will be able to identify her as somebody who is for them when they were coming to attack Jericho. So what makes you stand out? What makes you unique? What's that gift, that talent, that personality trait, that style that makes you unique and different from the rest? Another thing I'm getting from the Scarlet card is you should definitely be proud to be a Christian. You should definitely be somebody who shows it. And I bumped into this question in Pinterest where it asked, If you are arrested for being Christian, will there be enough evidence to convict you? I'm gonna let that marinate with you, and you can just ponder over it over the next few days or weeks as you journal. Point number 3 is truth versus right. Now, get me very clearly here, ladies. What was right for her to do was to be patriotic and say, yes, there are spies in my home, here they are. But she did what was truth. She knew that the God the Israelites served was powerful, and she had to betray, air quotes, her people. So, that being said, sometimes when we're in an argument, we want to prove ourselves to be right. But for example, if you're arguing with someone you love, for example, your spouse, your boyfriend, your family member that you love, and sometimes it's not just about trying to be right, but the understanding the truth. And the truth is that God loves where there's peace, and He reigns where there's peace, and it will probably be better to just be in a peaceful situation, because even just understanding the biology of men is when men are in an argument, they sometimes tend to forget that they're arguing with somebody they love, and it hurts them when you argue with them like this, because they're seeing it as you not trusting them, you doubting them, etc. That's something else for another video. But definitely at that moment, it's not about being right, but allowing the truth to prevail. And that's definitely something you should practice more often. If this is something you'd love for me to talk about separately or write about in my blog, I will definitely do so. Just let me know in the comments below. Point number 3 is being impactful. Now, from her meetup with the 2 Israelite spies, is the Israelite spy said, make sure your family is in the house with you so that we don't kill them. And by her meeting up with those spies and the conversation she had with them, it impacted her family and friends. So from your conversation with people, from your networking, from your career, from what you're trying to do with your life, is it impacting those around you? Or is it just a selfish solo pursuit? Because what you do and your journey even with Christ is something that's supposed to impact your family and friends. And before I was making this video, I was doing a Bible plan, and it insisted on praising God and worshiping God regardless of your circumstance and situation. So not only for you, but so that others can see the glory of God in your life. Secondly, on just being impactful is also being intellectual. Now, this lady knew a lot about the God of the Israelites, about the fact that He had dried the Red Sea, He had parted the Red Sea for them. And that's the thing. If you want to venture into anything different or new, like for example, you want to start a business, do you know enough about that business? Have you done your research about that business? Have you done your research, and do you know people in that business? Have you gotten any mentor in that area? So that's another way of reinventing yourself. If you want to be femme fatale, have you studied about other femme fatale women? Have you done your research on that? Have you researched on how they dress, how they talk, how they walk? My last point is seizing opportunities. When I read this passage, that's the first thing that stood out for me. And in just seizing opportunities, I will definitely say use what you have now. If what you have now is 2 spies from Israel, darling, use those 2 spies from Israel. For example, you have only a few people who might be low in that industry that you want to venture in, but darling, you have no idea the input they can give you and the knowledge they can give you to get to the next level you want. Or probably you just want to be a fashion designer, but all you have is just a needle and a thread and no big equipment and no good fabric, but you have whatever you have. Use what you have to get to where you want to get. Also, the power and importance of networking and exchanging contacts. Are you putting yourself in places where you can meet new people, exchange contacts? Are you having meaningful conversations with people? And just the whole idea of networking, it's also something that I'm definitely embracing, and something that I clearly want to make sure it's part of me, and I understand the importance of networking. So those are my 5 pointers from Rahab on how to reinvent yourself. I hope it blesses you, and I hope it ministers to you. Tell me which other biblical woman you'd love for me to do and to talk about on the comments. And if you love this, definitely like and share. Goodbye.